Good afternoon, everyone. This is Nicole Watkins, the Director of Author Support here representing Morgan James, and I have the pleasure of speaking with Dr. Yani Feliciano, author of No More Fatigue, the Guide to Increase Energy and Productivity in Everything You Do. Dr. Yani, as a mother to a 6-year-old, this book speaks highly to me. So I just want to start off with asking, why did you write No More Fatigue?
Well, thank you for having me, Nicole. And the reason I wrote No More Fatigue is I've been a chiropractor for over 30 years. And a lot of times when people would come to my office, they were coming to me for all sorts of different issues, headaches, neck pain, back pain. But one of the core themes that came up when I would consult with them is over 90% of them had fatigue. They were tired. And when I'd ask them if they could get rid of one of their problems and never have it bother them again, fatigue kept coming up. Sometimes it was worse than the neck pain or the back pain or other things, because when you're tired, you don't have the motivation, you don't have the energy, you don't have the drive to do what you need to do, what you want to do. You're a mother, you need a lot of energy with a 6-year-old kid, and if you don't have that kind of energy, it's not going to work out very well. So they were looking for a solution to overcome their fatigue so they could feel great and be super productive in everything they do, whether it was at home or in the office or in their business, whatever it is. That was the main thing that kept coming up. And as someone that had a little issue with fatigue myself, I figured out how to resolve it for myself and for my patients. And I wanted to share that with everyone else that needed the information as well.
Excellent. And yes, there's so many out there that I think can really resonate with this message. And I think one of the key things that you said in, just outside of even having chronic pain, which I've dealt with myself, it is that fatigue that really takes you down. So there's a lot of us right now applauding you for writing on this exact topic. So that brings me into my next question for you, Dr. Yani, is what can someone do right now to increase their energy?
Gosh, there's 7 steps that are really important, but one of the things that you could do right now, something very easy, is you could drink more water. For instance, most people don't drink enough water. They're dehydrated, and for our bodies to function properly, our cells, every function in our body to work, we need to be hydrated. If you don't have enough water, it's kind of like trying to swim through mud. It doesn't work. So if you want your body to be vibrant and energized, just increasing the water that you drink is important. My formula is drinking half of your body weight in ounces. So if you weigh 140 pounds, you need 70 ounces every single day. And if you drink coffee or tea or soda, anything that's caffeinated, that's going to increase your need for water. So if you weigh 140 pounds, you want to have that 70 ounces. But if you do, if you have, let's say, drink coffee, 20 ounces of coffee every day, then you want to go ahead and replenish for that 20 ounces. So that would be 70 plus 20 would be 90 ounces of water every single day. That's something that is fast, it's easy. You could start doing it right this second. That's just one of the things. I have so many, but there's one.
No, that's excellent. I've heard so many people, and I think that's a great point with the coffee, because I've heard so many people, oh, it's got water in it, that attributes for my intake for the day. So I think that's a very important point that you're making there with the coffee, because I have heard that time and time again, people drinking the coffee to get that energy. But again, if that's not really working into the overall intake that they need to make sure that they're attributing to each day, I think that's a really important thing for people to stand back and think about. So thank you for sharing that bit of insight there. So,
And I'd like to add one thing now that you mentioned the coffee. A
mhm.
lot of people think that just because they put water into the coffee pot, that is going to count for some of those, let's say 90 ounces. But water is clear. It has to look like water. Once you put it into the coffee maker and it comes out black, it doesn't count anymore. So that was a great point that most people don't realize, because it's hard to drink enough water when you're drinking a lot of different beverages as well. So you might want to think about substituting one of those.
Absolutely, absolutely. Great tip, great tip. So, third and final question that I have for you today, Dr. Yani, is what tips do you have on making sure the sustained energy lasts long term?
Well, one of the things that's super important is you have to make a decision about wanting the energy. I like to ask people, why do you want more energy? Is it something that you need to do because you need that for your work, for your home life? Why do you want it? And you have to really understand the why. And when you know the why, and it's a big enough why for you, then it's important for you to make the changes that you need to make, because there's a lot of changes. So in the book, there's steps. You take one step at a time, you do the step, and then you add the next step. So you do one step a week, so you're adding these steps. And how you make sure that it's sustainable change is you have to realize one thing. When we go through periods of stress, we revert back to our old habits. And our old habits are the habits that brought us here. And if you're suffering with fatigue, in order to overcome the fatigue, you've got to be aware that something that you're doing is bringing you to this level. So you have to make a change. You need to make the decision, make the change, and really stick with it, because we all kind of fall off the wagon sometimes, but we have to get back on. A support system is good. Having an accountability partner is good. Something where someone else is kind of in there with you and they're rooting you on. But that's the main thing, just being aware that as soon as stress happens, and we all have stress, we are going to want to revert back to what we did to bring us to this fatigued state in the first place. So it's really important for you to even just realize, here I am. I'm going back to my old self. Let me turn it around. And it's easy. It's easy to do the steps. It's easy not to do the steps. It's bigger than just willpower. You have to know the why, and you have to decide it's something that you really want to do.
That's excellent. And just as you're kind of talking through those tips, and I really like that you have created something that to me from face value seems very digestible, if you will. It's not seeming like steps or tips that would overwhelm someone. Like you said, it's tackling that first step or action point for the week, then you add on the next one, and it's a gradual build rather than trying to take on making that change all within just a few days. And it kind of reminds you of all the fad diets, if you will, just kind of attributing or really looking at this approach in the same mindset of some of the dieting fads that we've seen. It's more of changing your way of life rather than just slapping that Band-Aid on temporarily. And I think that's what ultimately really helps people make that change and have it be long lasting, rather than, let me just try this for a couple of weeks. They get overwhelmed, they get stressed. Like you said, once that stress comes in there, it's easy to revert back. You start chugging down the coffee or whatever it may be that are causing those bad habits and those unwanted results. And I'm just really, like I said, as a mother, this is the type of information that really speaks to me. And I love that you incorporate that why, the why behind it. Why are you trying to accomplish this? Or what is it that you can look at to discover what your own why is? And then again, really take those gradual steps to consistently build over time to have that long lasting result. Just wonderful all around. And I really thank you, Dr. Yani. For those that are looking for more information and where they might be able to purchase the book or learn more about you and your background, where would you say is the best place for people to connect with you?
The best place is nomorefatiguedoctor.com, and that way we can connect. That's the best place. And I do want to say one last thing. Health is energy. So if you really want to have true health and have true energy, you've got to make those changes. Unlike just putting a Band-Aid on it, having some coffee, taking a stimulant or something that's not going to be healthy for you. But health is energy, and if we can remember that, when we're not feeling good, when we're not feeling energized, we know that we're not being as healthy as we should or could be.
Absolutely. Wonderful information. Thank you so much, Dr. Yani, for taking time to speak to me and those watching today. And we're just really, really excited to be here today to celebrate the release of No More Fatigue. Thank you again.
Thank you so much for having me.